Hey everybody, Nick here, and today I am going to do something a little different. I am going to install this pair of scales from Rogue Bladeworks onto this little guy. This is a Benchmade Mini-Bugout. And see if I can't get that working. So, it is it's been a heck of a week, right? Heck of a couple of weeks. Right now it is March 13th of the 2020. We are in the midst of an unprecedented pandemic. Well, unprecedented in our time, certainly. It sucks. We are, who the heck knows? Can't buy toilet paper, anything like that. A whole bunch of stuff is going wrong right now. Or at least is going weird. Well, certainly wrong, too, I suppose. But nonetheless, here I am taking apart this knife in an effort to make it a little prettier, right? Effort to make it a little bit more, how do I say? I don't know. This is sort of a weird thing, right? Like, at some level, every part of my body, because, there's a great deal of fear out there, and that in some ways is probably on purpose, in other ways is probably, independent. But, right now, every part of my conscious mind, the parts of me that are, scared of the world, etc., are screaming, oh my God, go do something, buy toilet paper. Like, no, I don't need toilet paper. I need toilet paper, but I don't need it that badly, right? Anyways, there are parts of me that are irrational and are trying to, do all these crazy things just to try and make everything feel a little bit more okay. But in reality, I think right now I'm here, right? I'm doing what I'm doing. And at the end of the day, this, at least to me, feels a little bit like self-care. It's a weird kind of self-care, right? Why is this not wanting to go in place? There we go. That should work. Is this too small? Boy, this almost feels too small. Or maybe it's just differently sized relative to the original, so I need to take both sides off. All right. It's going to look really good, but boy, this feels too small. Anyways, we're going to go ahead and take the other side scales off here. And actually, before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and there we go. My goal here is actually to keep, damn it, I need to pop the blade through anyways. My goal here was, at least originally, there to keep the pivot in position, keep the blade in place. That way there's less to come apart in all of the rest of it here, but it doesn't seem like that's going to be an option for me, so I'll just pop this out. Pop the blade through. At some level, at the end of the day, if there's one thing, I've been through some weird crises in my life, very weird crises. That's okay. Nothing perhaps on the national scale quite to this level, but nonetheless, if there's one thing that I've learned about how I function best, is that, by and large, putting one foot in front of the other will get you surprisingly far, right? One step at a time and, doing the things that are, is this important? Absolutely not. I have 50 other knives right now. I'm not in a place where installing carbon fiber scales, but it's sort of, at least to me right now, this feels a lot like I said, like a self-care thing. Like, this is going to bring me some joy, I hope. If these things don't fit, that's going to be a little bit of a kick in the nuts right now, but like I said, I suspect they've just got things laid out a little bit differently, and at the end of the day, how things are spaced in the back here doesn't particularly matter as long as things are spaced properly around the liners, right? Because in this knife, that's all standoffs and whatnot are sort of unconnected to everything else. So, what was that I just removed? And then that there. Here we go. Now I pop this loose. Now we are in the danger zone. I want to not have this whole packet here come apart. So I'm going to just try and, as quickly as I can, transfer things back over into here. So I just removed this screw because I really don't want this whole packet containing the axis lock and whatnot to come apart, right? That would be a little awkward because it's just often a pain in the neck to get everything done that way. So I'm going to go ahead and throw a little thread locker on here and just tighten this down. I don't know. This video probably won't age well, but honestly, I'm doing this and it seems like that's the thing that's on my mind lately. I've been assigned to help manage, the whole situation at work, and, it's just, it's on a lot of folks' minds right now. as it frankly should be. It's a serious thing. But, you know, at the same time, you're all here to watch things about knives, right? You're here to watch, you're here to see something a little bit more entertaining. And so, I guess this is a way of making it feel like the world is a little normal, right? Well, okay, you're watching a guy disassemble a pocket knife on YouTube. I don't think normal's strictly speaking on the table here, but that's okay. It doesn't need to be. Okay, is this... Yeah. All right, let's pop that in there. Good. Now I'm going to put this... Oh, wait, no. I've ended up with an extra screw somehow. I don't know where that other screw is from. I'll find it out sooner or later here. But either way, it works. I don't think it's actually extra. I think I just lost track of where I'd taken it from. Okay, then I need to put this standoff in here. And I will do so right promptly now. One thing to note is that the standoffs themselves are not, strictly speaking, round. Cylindrical, they got a little bit of a D shape to them, and these scales have a D shape cut out to them as well, and that helps to keep things from being free spinning. And that's something I appreciate very much. That's not something I feel like it is something they kind of had to do, at least to my standards, but it's not something they absolutely needed to, right? They could have skipped that, and, you know, the knife would have been a little worse for it, or at least the scales would have been, but... Nonetheless, yeah, that's a thing. Okay, so I'm popping everything shut here. That's good. This seems to be going okay. Where is this? Oh, no, it's not extra. I just had... So I forgot there's this guy on the other side here. So let's go ahead and actually use a D6 bit here. By the way, if you're curious about any of the tools I'm using here on my disassembly, go ahead and check out nickshabazz.com/tools, and we will we'll see what... you can see all the tools I'm using on a general basis. Alrighty. So, yeah, this seems to be coming together so far so good. We'll see how it works in the grander scheme of things, but so far I'm okay with it. This might be a little problematic. No, okay, good. Excellent. I was a little afraid that the liner had kind of gotten itself kind of cocked off inside that way, and that the screw wouldn't be able to access it to pull it in, pull it home. But no, it got there. That's good. It's important, right? And now we just need to do this. Honestly, I like this Mini-Bugout a lot. I think it's a pretty solid piece here. But the biggest issue I've had with it is the fact that it's bright freaking orange. And so the prospect of this knife, but with a reduction in the amount of bright freaking orange it would do it, seems like a win to me. All right. Speaking of wins, that was not one of them. So I'm going to go ahead and try and pop this washer back in place here. Come on. And I will need a piece of paper. For instance, this business card for some jackass. Oop, too far. Slide this through. So far, so good. Let's go ahead and, this is untooled. I'm going to go ahead and clean off the pivot just to be sure here. I don't feel like I need to re-lubricate the knife because the knife is already running pretty well. And knowing me, it's got a little bit of a residual lubrication going on to it. So I'm going to put a little tiny bit on the pivot here because I just wiped it off. But aside from that, yeah, there we go. I should be able to just slip this through here. Which side of this is the keyed side? I think because there's a D shape to this pivot. That part needs to go up. So I'll do that right there. Now the goal here is to kind of get everything in alignment such that when I pull back on the axis lock here, everything pops through exactly like that. God, that was easy. Maybe the easiest damn thing that's happened all week. Ay, ay, ay. So now we put this guy back together. I think I'm using a T8 to do a T10's job over here. I was. Nice. All right. Let's go ahead and put a little bit more Loctite on this guy. And then tighten this down. Beautiful. All right, that's tight. In fact, that's over. Holy cow, is this thing light. It's also relatively stiff. Now we got some blade play. So I need to tighten this guy up a little bit. Why do I have... we still have blade play. All right. My bet here is that, oh yeah, I'm just pulling that back screw into place here. Okay, that's way too tight, and that's okay. I think what I've done there is I've served my purpose of tightening that back screw in, pulling it a little deeper into the hole over here. No. Okay, let's tighten you up a little bit further here. At this point, I have absolutely voided the warranty of this knife here. So, if the centering is off or anything like that, it's all on me, right? Okay. Still have a good action here. Tighten this a little further. Okay. Well, that worked. That worked freaking beautifully. That was easy freaking peasy is what that was. Okay, good. Very good. Super smooth. Centering is a little bit off, but it was also a little bit, well, actually the original one didn't have centering issues. So what I'm going to go ahead and do real quick is just loosen these back scales, just a little scotch. And then maybe that'll sort of allow things to get back towards center. Here, do the same thing over here. Just kind of letting some tension out of the system. Hopefully everything will go. A little tiny bit off still. Yep. I must have loosened the whole thing up a little bit, so I'll tighten a little bit further. There we go. Beautiful. Okay, that's a little tight, but I suspect it'll loosen up a little bit with time here. I also need to put on the clip here, which is, by the way, only milled for right-hand carry here, which, for me at least, rock on, right? But for the rest of for the sinister portion of the population, so to speak, it's going to be a downside. Perhaps they offer a lefty edition or something like that, but for the moment, no dice. I have no idea what all the beeping is out there, but who knows? Oh, UPS truck. All right. That wasn't for me. All right. Let's go ahead and tighten this the rest of the way down here. And as we do so, yeah, everything's fitting well. Yeah, it's a little better to open now because the clip kind of does actually help with the ergonomics of opening. Oh, yeah. That'll do. That will absolutely do. There are times where you feel like you have very little control over your life, right? Where it feels like everything's going out of control and, nothing's worth a damn. But sometimes in those moments, what you got to do is something silly, right? You just got to do something like, okay, pardon me, that's not coronavirus, I hope. Either way, you got to do something that's me breathing wrong. It brings you some joy. You got to have some kind of a win, right? And even if it's a little tiny one, even if you're just changing shouty, loud orange scales into something that's actually attractive, you know what? I'll take it. Today of all days, I will take it. And so I encourage you in these times of trouble, that is, to find a win. Something very small, if it needs to be, maybe something very big, and, cherish it. Throw this guy in my pocket and be like, hey, that worked. So Rogue Bladeworks, hey, nice job. I'm going to do a full review of the scales, because it really does kind of change the character of the knife, I think, in a fundamental way. I think it's a good one, too, for that matter. But nonetheless, yeah, there you go. Hope this has been interesting to you. Stay healthy out there. Stay safe out there. Don't be an idiot. Don't hurt yourself. But most of all, I hope that you have yourselves just an absolutely wonderful rest of your day. And hang in there, people. We're going to get through this. Bye now.